The second bell of the Barbault Basket rings within hours of this moment, and this one carries a story 11 years in the making, because the two planets meeting tonight used to be at war. On the 18th, Uranus and Pluto reach exact trine, the Awakener and the Transformer, flowing in effortless agreement. If you lived through the years 2012 to 2015, you have already met these two, just not like this. Between 2012 and 2015, Uranus and Pluto met in exact square 7 separate times, 7 collisions. The Awakener demanding sudden change, the Transformer demanding total change, and neither yielding an inch. You felt it, even if you never knew its name. Those were the years when the old structures cracked, out in the world and in private lives. Think back to what broke open in your own life between 2012 and 2015. Hold that memory. It matters tonight. And you may remember the date the whole world argued about, right as those squares began. The 21st of December, 2012. An old calendar ended and everyone rushed to say what it meant. The end of everything or the beginning of the shift. Standing live in that sky that very day was this exact pair, Uranus square Pluto. The sun rose the next morning and the skeptics laughed. Another date, nothing happened. But skies like this don't work in mornings, they work in decades. If you felt that date mattered, you weren't wrong. The shift was real. It simply began the way real transformation always begins, with the breaking of what couldn't come along. Because tonight, 14 years later, the same two planets meet again, not in square, but in trine. The war is over. The forces that broke the old world are now building the next one together. This is the part of the shift you were promised. A trine is 120 degrees of sky, and it is a different creature from the sextile that opened this basket. The sextile was a door left ajar. It offered and waited for your push. The trine is a current. It carries you. Which is the trine's gift and its one quiet warning? Effortless flow, but no brakes. Whatever direction you are already facing when a trine arrives, it amplifies. So the question of the next 2 days is simply, which way are you facing? Uranus stands at 4 degrees of Gemini, the awakener in the sign of language and the connecting mind. Sudden clarity, the word that unlocks, the idea that arrives complete. And Pluto stands at 4 degrees of Aquarius, the transformer in the sign of the collective, the very sign the New Age was named for, working at the root of how we organize, connect, and belong. Slow, total, irreversible change. So read tonight's aspect plainly, the flash of insight flowing straight down into permanent structure. Ideas becoming foundations, the sudden thought that doesn't fade by morning, because this time it lands somewhere that can hold it. And here is the longer story the quick takes miss. This whole Uranus-Pluto cycle was seeded in the mid-1960s, the conjunction that lit a generation's revolutions. The squares of 2012 to 15 were that cycle's midlife crisis. Tonight's trine is the reconciliation, the first fully harmonious meeting since the crisis passed. In the arc of a cycle that only comes around every 127 years or so, this is the moment the revolution stops fighting and starts governing. This is the second bell of 6. The first, Uranus and Neptune, rang 2 days ago and set the weave. Tonight's trine is the basket's power line, the aspect that decides whether this whole pattern stays a beautiful idea or becomes something real. And for everyone thinking, here we go again, another date, nothing ever happens. Don't take it on faith. Measure it. This curve, computed from raw planetary positions, bottomed in 2022 and has been rising ever since. Then ask honestly how much has already changed since 2012, in the world and in you. Tonight isn't the storm returning, it's the rebuild signing its charter. So what does a Uranus-Pluto trine feel like in a human life this week? It feels like something that has been stuck for years, turning. It feels like effortless release. The habit, the grudge, the version of yourself built for surviving the breaking years, set down without ceremony because you suddenly simply don't need it. What squares tear away, trines let you put down. And it feels like return, power that was taken apart in those years. Confidence, direction, a sense of your own authority comes back this week. Not as it was, rebuilt along the cracks and stronger at every mended line. And watch for the strange ease. Conversations that used to be battles, suddenly simple. Decisions you've circled for years, resolving in an afternoon. That ease isn't luck, and it isn't small. It's the signature of this exact aspect. When you feel it, follow it. Here is the discipline the trine asks of you, the only one. Because it flows without friction, it can pass without notice. Squares force your attention. Trines reward it. This gift only becomes yours if you consciously step into the current and learn to tell the true current from the false one. The real flow runs deep and quiet, like something you decided long ago finally moving. False current is churn, loud, urgent, shallow. If it demands you act this second, it isn't the trine. The trine has years behind it, and it moves like it knows. And the standing caution holds. Mercury is still retrograde until the 24th, so let the current carry your decisions inward, not outward. This week, you choose the direction. The announcement, the signature, the send button, those keep until the messenger wakes. If you set an intention at the new moon and watched it deepen when the basket opened, tonight is the night it puts down its taproot. What the sextile whispered, the trine underwrites. Now make it personal, because this current is flowing between two specific rooms of your life. Find where 4 degrees of Gemini falls in your chart. That house is where the lightning enters, where the sudden clarity, the unlocking word, the unexpected connection arrives this week. Then find 4 degrees of Aquarius. That house is where the change becomes permanent, where something is being rebuilt at the root, quietly, to last for years. And hold those two houses as one current. What sparks in your Gemini house wants to flow into your Aquarius house and set? Insight in one room, foundation in the other. That's the whole practice. Notice the spark, then give it somewhere permanent to land. 3 signs stand directly in this current. Gemini, the awakener is in your sign, and tonight the deepest planet in the sky backs your reinvention. The change you've been improvising all year gains a spine. It's real now. Build on it. Aquarius. Pluto has been remaking you from the root for 2 years, and mostly it has felt like loss. Tonight, the awakener sends power down the line. This week, you get the first clear evidence of what all that dismantling was for. And Libra, you complete the air triangle, catching both streams at once. The relationships and agreements that hold your life get carried, not shaken. The true ones deepen this week, almost without effort. Let them. And if your sun is elsewhere, you are not outside this. Anything in your chart between roughly 2 and 6 degrees of a fire or air sign stands in the web. But your sun sign is only the doorway. The real answer is your houses. Which rooms of your life these degrees actually touch? The exact degrees are in the description below, with our free calculator. About a minute to find where 4 degrees of Gemini and 4 degrees of Aquarius sit in your own chart. That's where tonight's current is flowing, in your life specifically. So here is your assignment for the next 2 days. Name one thing that broke in your life during the square years, and one thing you would build in its place. Write both down. The current is moving. Point it. And now the basket accelerates. In 2 days' time comes peak day, the 20th. The tightest weave of the entire pattern, with Jupiter trine Neptune striking within the same hour, and the handle itself, Jupiter opposite Pluto, right behind it. The 3 biggest days of the whole basket, back to back. We'll walk you through exactly what to do with them before they strike, so subscribe to our channel right now because the next video is the one this entire week has been building toward. Some lights show you the rocks. This one shows you the current, deep, steady, and finally moving your way. The war years are behind you. What you build now is meant to last. Walk with us.